Good morning, guys, and welcome to the Monday, June 17th edition of the MMAOB Daily Show with your host, as always, Adam Martin. Today's We the North Day. Toronto Raptors won the NBA championship over the Golden State Warriors, 4-2. Amazing performance in that sixth game. Kyle Lowry killed it. Fred VanVleet killed it. Kawhi Leonard named MVP. I mean, I couldn't be more ecstatic. There's a parade downtown Toronto. It's actually, I think, starting in like half an hour. So I'm going to finish up this podcast and then head down. I got to go. I got to be there with my fellow friends and to get the podcast out of the way first, guys. I want to talk about Bellator 222. Also, I want to talk about my trip to Chicago. First and foremost, as always, you can follow me on Twitter at MMAOB. Follow this podcast at MMAOddsbreaker.com and on our YouTube channel as well. Please subscribe there. Also, Sherdog.com is my website, bjben.com, MMAnews.com, and MMArings.net. Check all those sites out. But yeah, I'll talk about Bellator 222 in one sec. I just wanted to say I just got back from Chicago. It was a good trip. I had a lot of fun. Highlights of the trip include, I saw Wrigley Field. I didn't get to see a game, unfortunately. The Cubs weren't there. But I did go to Guaranteed Rate Field, and I saw a game between the Yankees and White Sox. Awesome experience. Great field. White Sox won, I think, 10-1 or 10-2. Lucas Giolito pitched amazing. Eloy Jimenez hit 2 home runs. The fireworks went off. It was great experience. Started raining, unfortunately, in like the 7th inning, pouring rain, so I had to leave. But great experience. I had a good time. Chicago is a good city, big city. Got to see a lot. Only there for a couple of days, but got to see quite a bit. So definitely happy about that. Another thing I wanted to say quickly was I got to meet George Lucas, the guy who created Star Wars. Can you believe that? Me and my girlfriend had to duck into an AMC theater just because it was pouring rain on Saturday. We ducked in. We're sitting in our ponchos. All of a sudden, we hear a commotion. Guy was walking down the escalator, or coming down the escalator, I should say, and we look up, and my girlfriend's like, "Hey, isn't that the guy who made Star Wars, George Lucas?" So I went over and I just said hi and I grabbed a picture. It was like really brief. Like I had like a 1 second to get a picture with the guy, but I got one. So crazy. Probably the highest name celebrity I've ever met. I mean, for me, it was no big deal. I've never, I'd be fine. I was starstruck though, so it was kind of funny. But yeah, it was a good experience. Definitely one of the highlights of the trip. Overall, good trip. But I want to talk about Bellator 222 because that's why you guys are here. You're here to talk about MMA and listen to me talk about MMA. So let's get right into it. I didn't watch this live, unfortunately, but I did catch the replay in DAZN. DAZN has a really good replay system, so I watched the replay. Overall, pretty good card. A lot to talk about here. Let's start from the main event, work our way down. Main event of the evening, Rory MacDonald defeats Neiman Gracie by decision. I predicted this one correctly. I just figured Rory would outpoint Neiman. And, I think people were writing off Rory a little bit too soon after the John Fick performance, and he seems to be back. Beats Neiman Gracie 49-46 on all the scorecards. Gracie put up a decent fight, I guess. He made it to the final bell, but just not in the same class as Rory, at least not yet. He's still relatively young, I guess. He's still young in the sport, I should say. Anyways, he still has some potential, but Rory MacDonald just a much more well-rounded fighter, much more experienced fighter. He goes on to the finals against Douglas Lima, so that's an interesting fight. The rematch, Douglas Lima lost the first time. I think he might win this time, though. Got to think about it a little bit more, but if I had to say, as far as odds go, you might see Rory as a small favorite again. I mean, he did win the first fight, but I think a lot of people will be betting on Lima in this fight. I think people will still be fading Rory, and I think the way Lima looked, especially against Michael Page, people are going to be over this guy. So interesting fight, but and I could see Rory as the favorite. I do think a lot of action will come in on Douglas Lima, though. So I'm looking forward to that fight. But yeah, good for Rory for vindicating himself after that last performance. It was a bad night for him, but he looks like he's back to his normal self. So good for him. And again, we'll see what happens in the finals. I still think Douglas Lima is going to put on a better fight than he did the first time, but I do think Rory is still a really good fighter. So we'll see what happens there. Co-main event, Leo Machida finishes Chael Sonnen in the second round. Flying knee punches. Great performance by Lyoto. Very one-sided for the most part. I picked this one too correctly. Lyoto by TKO. Just based on Chael's been finished quite a few times. I had someone correct me. He hasn't been knocked out. It's true, but he's been TKO'd many times. And after this one, he retired. So I'll talk about that in a sec. But for Machida, really big win here. I mean, it sets him up probably for a title shot. He's on a 4-fight win streak now. So title shot at 205 or 185. With Ryan Bader moving up to heavyweight to fight Chia Kongo, or I should say defending his heavyweight belt to fight Chia Kongo, the light heavyweight division is kind of in flux. So I think Machida should consider fighting at middleweight against Gegard Mousasi in a rematch. He has beaten Gegard. A rematch is interesting. I'd have to favor Gegard this time around in the rematch. Again, these rematches are interesting. So, even though Bellator is probably going to have to book some rematches. There are good fights. I'm okay with that fight. Interesting fight with Cheetah and Musasi too. I'm looking forward to that one if it does happen, and it looks like it might. Also, Chael Sonnen, like I said, retired. That's too bad, but I mean, it's the right call. I mean, the guy's way up there in age now. He's been, getting finished in his last two fights by Fedor or Machida now. He's a good fighter, but it's time for him to go, I think. And he's got so much other stuff going on outside the sport. I should say it's still inside the sport, but outside the cage, doing a lot of commentary, doing a lot of interviewing, and all this kind of stuff. So good for Chael. He made a ton of money. He changed the way the sport is. He kind of created that era of trash talking and made it popular. I'll never forget the fights with Anderson Silva, especially the first one. I mean, that was insane when Anderson finished in the late in the fifth round, and even the second one where it was a really good fight too. But it was the right call by Chael, I think, to walk away with his easy call. I think everyone was predicting him to win by first round submission. Another setup fight by Bellator. The guy's only got 2 fights, so it's okay to set him up. But you put him on the main card. And the only thing I don't like about this is, like, why is he fighting 175? They put him at 170, let him fight in that division. I don't understand all the catchweight fights in Bellator. It's kind of weird. Guy looks like a talented fighter, and he's got a good. I don't know if good personality is the right word, but he's got an intriguing personality, and people like to talk about him for better or worse. So. Dylan Diaz is a good fighter. This Max Humphrey guy was brought in to lose to him, and it was a mismatch, and that's why the odds were like that. Also on the card, we had Patrick Mix make a great Bellator debut against Ricky Bandeas with a first-round submission, rear naked choke. Jump by wins James Gallagher, Merab Dvalishvili. And his Patrick Mix guy's undefeated now, 11-0. Bandeas is probably the best win in his career, but he also beat Andre Ewell, who's in the UFC right now. So this guy's pretty good. Definitely an intriguing prospect. Curious to see what they do with him next, but very intriguing prospect for sure. That's the only fight I got wrong on the main card, but I didn't know too much about Mix. It's all good. Next up, we had Juan Archuleta knock out Eduardo Dantas with one brutal punch. Oh man, great knockout by Juan Archuleta. Man, brutal knockout. Guy looked great. He's an awesome fighter, man. Really like watching Juan Archuleta fight. 17-fight win streak now. I mean, the guy's nothing but impressive, So I've been super impressed by this guy, and he deserves a title shot. I don't know if it's going to be a 135 or 145, but this is a big win. It's probably the biggest win of his career. He needed a knockout like this, and he got it. So good for him. Great performance by Juan Archuleta. I really enjoyed watching him and do his job and get that knockout because, man, I mean, at one point in time, Eduardo Dantas is one of the best featherweights in the world. He's fallen a lot since then, but still to KO him with one punch like that was very impressive. And opening up the main card, we had one of the best upsets of the night. There's 3 upsets on the card, I should say. There was Patrick Mix and Kyoji Horiguchi, and there's also one of the prelims, which I'll mention in a second, which technically was a bigger one by the odds. But as far as ramifications go, there was no bigger upset than Kyoji Horiguchi upsetting Darren Caldwell and winning the bantamweight title in Bellator. Great win by Kyoji Horiguchi. And again, this was I think that the sport blew it. I know Caldwell's a decent fighter. He did put on a good fight. I mean, it was close. Like, he had a lot of takedowns, but he did no damage with them. Kyoji Horiguchi was the one doing all the damage the whole time. The guy deserved to win. He won, I think, 49-46 on 2 of the cards at least. Looked good in this fight, man. He did a lot of damage, kept working, had a high work rate in this fight, and the judges noticed that, and they rewarded him for it. So great win for Horiguchi. He's now the Rising champ. He's now the Bellator champ. Scott Coker talked about this later on. He said that there's a deal with Rising that Kyoji Horiguchi will defend the title once in Bellator a year. That's great for Bellator. They have a great fighter now, kind of under contract, but at least fighting under their banner. But not only that, but he said that they can send fighters from Bellator to Rising and fight him. So there's talking about Juan Archuleta going to Bellator, from Bellator to Rising to fight Kyoji Horiguchi, and that's an amazing fight. That's an amazing fight. I would love to see that fight. I really hope it happens. Juan took no damage in that fight, and Kyoji, he'll probably need a few months off at least, but that would be a sick fight. I would love to see that fight. I really hope it happens. There was a lot of prelims on this card. I think there was 18 fights total, but the most notable one, the one that everyone's talking about, is Aaron Pico getting finished again by Adam Borks now in the second round, flying knee punches. He's drops to 4-3 in his career with 3 stoppage losses and 4 finishes. He's never been in a decision. This is disappointing. I mean, Eric Pico's 22. He's a young guy. We got it. At one point, he's getting finished in brutal fashion last 2 fights. Here against Borix and the last one against Henry Corrales. Scott Coker said, we're going to have to take a huge step back. This guy needs to get some serious time off. He needs like 6 months. He should train for a little while. I think he should just really take it easy, go on vacation, relax, get his head clear. He's getting knocked out in brutal fashion. Such a young guy. It's not good. It's really not good. Is MMA for him? I'm not sure. I mean, really not sure at all. Even Scott Coker said that in the post-fight interview. He was saying, this guy is a great wrestler. He's got knockout power. He's 4-3, so a lot of potential. But the fact he's still a favorite, I mean, come on. There's no way in this next fight he could be a favorite. I don't even think it matters who he's fighting. Like, it's so hard to pick a guy who's getting KO'd like this and gets finished like this. Again, 4-3 record. If you bet on him in his career, you've lost money. Like, you've lost a lot of money because the 3 fights he lost, he was favored to win. So, I like Aaron Pico. I do think he's still got some potential, but don't ever lay money on this guy again. I don't think you can do it. Also on the prelims, there's quite a few prelims, like I mentioned. What else wasn't notable here? Valerie Relina beat Larkin Dash. I mean, we know why this fight was on the card. I think Lorita's decent. She got some potential. Dash 0-0. She get it from a promotional standpoint. Yeah, 2 pretty girls fighting, but Lorita at least has that striking background. They're just advertising her as like, oh, who's waitress turned fighter? Like, it's, I don't know. Like, to me, she's asking for a rematch now. I don't think she deserves it. Also, Heather Hardy lost. She got finished by Taylor Turner. That's a bad loss. A lot of people are saying back to boxing for maybe retirement. I mean, she's pretty old. I think she's 37, 38. So I don't know. I don't think she should fight MMA again. It doesn't look like her sport. What else here? Haim Gonzalez. This guy's pretty good. He's an experienced veteran. I've talked about him before. He's talking about, he wants to be the face of Israeli MMA. They'll probably head back to Israel. He'll be on that card. Beats Gustavo Wurlitzer by first round submission. Also, Mike Kimball, I think, is a decent prospect. He beat Sebastian Ruiz, but by split decision. So played a little bit safe, got the win, but very close. Hobson Gracie Jr., he won. He won by first round submission. Also, Phil Haas won by first round doctor stoppage. So quite a few of Bellator's. And Lindsey Van Sant one. It's another prospect Bellator likes. So quite a few prospects Bellator wanted to win for the most part, except for Pico, of course. Overall, I mean, for what I saw, it was a pretty good card. I didn't see the prelims, but I saw the main card. Main card was good. Good solid card. That's all I really want to talk about today, though. I mean, there were a lot of fight announcements on the weekend, but I'm going to save that for tomorrow. Just wanted to be a Bellator focused show this morning, and I'm going to head down, like I said, to the parade now. So I really want to save that stuff for tomorrow. Again, thanks, guys, for listening. I appreciate you guys, the support, as always. I really appreciate it. I'm going to head down to the parade now. Toronto Raptors won again. Got to be hyped up for my team, man. That's sick. I can't believe they won. I'm so happy. Again, follow me on Twitter, at MMAOB. Follow the podcast, at MMA Oddsbreaker on YouTube. And follow us on our website. Follow Sherdog.com. Follow BJPen.com. Follow MMAnews.com. And follow MMARatings.net. I write for all those websites. They're all great websites, great writers. Check them all out. Guys, thanks a lot for tuning in again, man. I really appreciate it. Like I said, I had a great trip in Chicago, but I'm back now. I'm back in the 6. Back to talk about MMA. We have a big card this weekend, UFC Greenville. I'm looking forward to it. I'll have Cole Shelton on, I think, probably tomorrow or Wednesday to talk about to do a preview podcast. But until then, guys, keep listening. Keep listening. I'm always talking about MMA 5 days a week, 6 days a week, doesn't matter. I'm always here talking about MMA. I love it. And I really appreciate you guys tuning in. So have a great day, guys. Go Raptors. Today's going to be the North Day. It's our day. I'll see you guys soon. Have a good day.